Hello, this is Ariel Carmel, and we're in Paris as part of Israel's business delegation led by Calcalist and Bank Hapoalim. I'm joined by Ariel Weil, the mayor of Paris Centre. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
So, can you start off by telling me a little bit about your district?
Of course, of course. So I'm the mayor of a new district actually that only has 3 years of existence. We've merged 4 districts, the historical districts of Paris pretty much. The first four, one, two, three, four, into a new entity called Central Paris. It's pretty much everything you know in Paris, or almost. From the Louvre to Notre-Dame, including the Centre Pompidou. And it also encompasses 2 interesting districts. Le Marais, broadly speaking, which is home to the traditional Jewish presence in Paris, the old Jewish neighborhood around Rue des Rosiers that many people know about, and the Sentier, which has been the government district, and now is turning into a district that's pretty much focused on tech, to the point that we've now come to call it Silicon Sentier.
Amazing. Now, can you speak a little bit to how the current period has impacted your work as mayor and the community that you serve?
Yes. So even though now Jews live everywhere in Paris, and there are new neighborhoods like in the west of Paris where there are probably more Jews now than in the center of Paris, still traditionally that's where all of the memories, all of the Shoah memories, but also the museums. We have the Museum of Art and History of Judaism in the Marais. We also have the Shoah Memorial in the heart of the Marais. Still very much a lot of stores of Jewish stores in around Rue des Rosiers. And interestingly, by the way, we now have a renewal by a lot of Israeli restaurants, non-Jewish Israeli, and it's an interesting trend that Israelis have opened new restaurants there. So at the beginning, even since 7th of October, obviously everyone's been has been shocked, has been scattered, and a lot of my work as mayor has been to make sure that we have protection around synagogues, but also all sorts of buildings, including even public schools. We have public schools that traditionally have had a lot of Jewish children. We have many ceremonies associated with the Shoah. There are schools where there were almost no children left after 1942 and the biggest deportation of French Jews. So there's a heavy memory. Just before I came here, actually, I was at an event for one of the survivors of the Holocaust who died recently, Milo Adoner, who's an amazing guy, and there was an event around his story. So there are many things that happened. I also have the neighborhood where we have the city hall of Paris, and the head of the French police, the Paris police.
Okay.
So we spend a lot of time there discussing how to make sure that we protect the Jewish community in particular. Now, of course, we have a lot of discussions about the upcoming Olympics and Paralympics games in Paris. So the whole area is going to be completely locked in a way with security measures. But in the meantime, every week carries its threats and events. Last week, you may know that we had a series of tags on the walls with the bloody hands. You know, those hands that have become the subject of a lot of controversy. You and I think by now everybody knows what they stand for, or at least what they can echo, which is the terrible murder of 2 Israeli soldiers in 2000 in Ramallah. Of course, some of the students who use those signs claim that they didn't know its existence, or it related to just bloodied hands. But now we know, and now there's a big case about all of those tags that flourished all over the Marais last week. And it appears that it might be Russian interference here.
Oh, really?
But obviously they're playing on things that divide French society, and that's been a big topic for me.
Do you think that outward demonstrations of anti-Semitism that have become too commonplace in France are representative of wider public sentiment, or are they isolated to extremist views held by a minority of people?
I think unfortunately that there's a strong undercurrent of anti-Semitism in France. It has been historically mostly related to the extreme right wing. The extreme right wing is now very careful to not associate themselves with anti-Semitism, and they're in a process of sort of trying to get clean and forgetting that their ancestors were most of them were collaborators and Nazi supporters. So we have to fight and continue fighting the extreme right. I think that there are people. I never talk about the Jewish community because I don't consider that there's such a thing as a one single Jewish community. We have Jewish people, people who claim to be Jewish, who stand on the right, or like me on the left side, and we don't have the same opinions. But there are more and more Jewish people, and frankly, a portion of the French population that lean towards the extreme right wing, and we fight against that. But equally, the extreme left wing has now in its ranks some people who clearly are anti-Semites, and so we try to defend a line that's neither or nor the one or the other,
Right.
and I support every initiative to fight against anti-Semitism wherever it comes from.
Amazing. Well, on that note, we're going to close the conversation, but thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Thank you very much, and I hope you get a chance to come to Silicon Sentier and meet all of the startups in the old Jewish traditional neighborhood.
I hope so too.
Thank you.